This is Hannibal here from the Hannibal TV on YouTube with my weekly review of the points I find interesting in Dave Meltzer's Wrestling Observer, as well as some other news. A couple weeks ago, Ric Flair made it seem like he might be coming out of retirement. He said that he lacked motivation to go to the gym. AEW had him under contract for 2 years. Never used him in a match. Hardly used him at all, actually. I don't know how much he was paid, but he only did about 5 appearances. I don't know if his Woo energy is still going or not, but he said today that first, let me make something clear. I will never wrestle again. What a weird guy, right? He posts a picture of himself putting on wrestling boots to get people talking. I mean, people talk about him more than today's wrestlers, right? So he's smart in some ways, but it's like, anyone saying I'm going to wrestle, let me make myself clear. I'm never going to wrestle again. After starting the whole rumor by showing himself lacing up boots. Right, that makes a lot of sense. Maybe if you don't want people coming up with that idea, don't post pictures of yourself lacing up your boots and say, quote, fits like a glove. According to Meltzer, he had been talking to some people about having a match, but he wanted too much money. And I was actually talking to someone yesterday that's an autograph guy that might be involved with my event, August 1st, that I'm working on in Canada, where we're going to have some autograph stuff going on, as well as some of the top wrestlers in the world that aren't signed right now competing on. This will be the biggest indie show in Canada, in my opinion, by far of the year. August 1st, more information coming soon. But I was talking to this guy, and he was involved somewhat with a Ric Flair autograph session yesterday that I guess Ric Flair had postponed several times. It was like a 9-person private session, so he is a bit flaky. Jack Haynes called me for 42 minutes today. I was on the phone with him. He specifically asked me not to record or play the phone call, so I didn't. But basically, for any of you that heard any of my previous phone calls with Billy Jack that I put on here, similar stuff. He's now saying he's still in the Salem mental hospital. He claims he has no money. So if anyone wants to send him money, I wrote it down here somewhere. He is in the Salem, Oregon State Mental Hospital in Salem. Contact them about putting money, if to get him paper and stuff. If anyone is a big enough fan of his that wants to help him out. But he's saying that they did an autopsy now on his guinea pig that passed away, and he thinks the guinea pig that passed away was killed by the same person that killed his wife, and that same person killed the dog and the son 2 years earlier. So he's saying a lot of weird stuff. He's talking as weirdly as ever. I guess his current lawyer, I've talked to the current lawyer. I don't like the current lawyer either, but it's a free lawyer, which is all he can afford right now. This lawyer apparently wants him to plead insanity, but then he'll be stuck in the mental institute for the rest of his life. He actually wants to go to trial and put up a defense over this. He's claiming that if he wanted to kill her, that he would have had her do an overdose and made it look like an accident, because he says a gun is very messy. Why would he have killed her with a gun? He claimed that they had a plan to kill each other, that they were both going to die, something like, I think he said February 16th or February 18th of this year. He claimed they had a pact. And he said he's been in jail, he's been incarcerated now for over 2 years. So yeah, there's a guy with a lot of, if you guys think you have issues, he's got a lot of issues. If you look at his history, they tried to push him in about every territory, including WWE. And sadly, he couldn't hang. He was also claiming he was a heroin addict in this. He went from being a straight opioid addict to a full-on heroin addict. So, again, he talked a lot of stuff. He claims he's going to call me and check in with me more, but nothing really new there other than there's no trial date, and he wants to try and find a new lawyer. I personally am not going to take the responsibility of getting a GoFundMe for him to find a lawyer. By the way, another guy asking for a GoFundMe again, which is like his fourth or fifth GoFundMe. I don't think he's ever had a real job, is Brian Knobbs, other than wrestling. There's some wrestlers like the Marty Jannettis and Brian Knobbs of the world that just think, oh, I was a WWE and WCW wrestler. I'm too good to have to work at Walmart after. So when the autograph conventions dry up, I'm just going to beg fans for money and they're going to get me out of any trouble. But I actually read the description from Brian Knobbs' latest GoFundMe. And he claims in it, and think about this, guys, use your head here. He's storing stuff in a hotel room. He's not storing stuff in a storage vault that's very cheap or anything like that. He's claiming he's in a hospital and he has stuff being stored right now in a hotel room that he needs to be able to keep paying for this hotel room to keep storing the stuff in the hotel room. What, you got no friend? Where's all your friends? Aren't you a big wrestling star? You got no friends that can help you? And don't you live in Tampa, where there's a million old wrestlers? You got no friends that can help you move your stuff from a hotel room to somewhere cheaper? Who stores stuff in a hotel room? That doesn't even make sense. But again, we're talking about the Nasty Boys here. They've never been known for their intelligence. Jesse Ventura, the publicity hound, is saying he wants Minnesota to become a part of Canada. He's doing this to get attention. The whole thing of calling Donald Trump a draft dodger and all this bull crap. First of all, I've actually researched a lot of Vietnam lately, and I'm not political at all, but a lot of people died for absolutely no reason in Vietnam. So I wouldn't blame anyone for being a draft dodger for that, because people died, and not only that, but lost limbs, lost the ability. Look, watch Born on the 4th of July with Tom Cruise. People didn't. What did Vietnam help? Please explain to me. And keep in mind, Jesse Ventura is a storyteller. You know what I'm sick of hearing about? People saying, oh, well, Jesse Ventura hates Hulk Hogan because Hulk Hogan was the sole reason a wrestling union never happened. Because back in 1986, keep in mind, no wrestler other than Jesse has ever confirmed this, right? Hulk Hogan confirmed that Jesse was talking about starting a union. But what wrestler, you guys named me this, I'm a historian, no wrestler, no manager has ever gone on record saying, yes, we were on Jesse's side, we were going to risk everything to say we're going to go on strike WrestleMania 2 unless WWE put a union together. I believe Jesse was probably trying to talk about it, but think about it. That was 86, we're 2026 now, right? 40 years ago, there's still no union. Jesse Ventura likes to say he was the guy that was going to start a union. The truth of the matter is there's never going to be a union in wrestling. It wouldn't have worked back then. Hogan may have helped put a kibosh on it then, but Jesse was always jealous of Hulk Hogan. That's a fact. Did Jesse accomplish a lot in life? Yes. Does he ramble on and seek attention now? Yes. I used to be a fan of his, but like he's contradicted so much stuff that he used to say that he would stand for forever. The estate of Terry Bollea, Hulk Hogan, speaking of Hogan, is being sued by the people that used to run his beer company that I guess he's no longer going to be on the can for. They're suing for $10 million. He's also selling his house. His wife, Sky, and son, Nick, who's also been at the Performance Center lately, they're selling his $11 million mansion. Ted DiBiase Jr. is off the hook for now. They've asked for a mistrial because his attorney, again, this is the son of Ted DiBiase Sr., who they were all part of this Heart of David Ministries alleged scam that ripped off the Mississippi government millions. I guess his lawyer got deathly ill and they had to call for a mistrial. So DiBiase Jr. apparently is facing over 10 years in jail on this. And it's been going on for over 5 years now. We're in the 6th year of these issues happening. So it's going to be dragged out even longer. Speaking of, I'm so sick of politics in wrestling. They had, and again, this includes comps. This is the picture from the Pearl Theater in Vegas. AEW Dynamite, about 1,700 and a 2,500 seat arena. Okay. The main thing coming out of Dynamite was you had MJF and what's his name? Brody King in the ring. And the 1,700 fans that were there started chanting F Ice, F Ice. Here's the thing to me. Are you actually celebrating that? Because isn't wrestling supposed to be about what's going on in the ring? Because the fans know that they're both a certain political way, they're going to stop wrestling for a second and look at the fans while the fans start chanting F Ice, F Ice. Like, I cannot stand this product. It sucks. Nope, it gets shit ratings. Nobody goes to see it anymore. They overpay their wrestlers, and it's way too political for me. Like, I hate politics in wrestling. Wrestling is supposed to be a place where you don't have to think about politics. I'm absolutely disgusted with that company, and that they're actually celebrating, oh, there was an F Ice chant during the World Championship match. Really? When Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage fought each other at WrestleMania 5, was there any political chants? And were people saying the next day, oh, wow, there was a political chant during the Hogan Savage match? I mean, I just hate it. I hate what wrestling has become. SmackDown in Saudi Arabia last week. And again, WWE is no better for selling out to the Saudis. 18,000 people in Saudi Arabia. Collision last week in Arlington, 1,400 fans. That includes comps. Again, this week they had 1,700 in Vegas, including comps, for a combined Dynamite Collision. Raw in Philadelphia had over 13,000. So WWE's still doing all right for crowds, but there is no house shows right now, other than very few in Europe. They had like less than 20 last year because they just don't draw enough to have house shows anymore. Flash the biceps. There you go. There you go. Someone says the guinea pig is guilty in Billy Jack's place. Storage place, yes. And this guy's talking to what I was just talking about, knobs. I'm storing my stuff in a freaking hotel room and I'm poor. What kind of a goddamn idiot stores stuff in a hotel room? I'm sorry, but that's just the same type of idiot that thinks he's too good to work a regular job and then begs for money. Jesse Ventura lives in the Baja. He's better than us. I actually think he's moved back full-time to Minnesota, to be honest. I need to become another Von Erich cousin. Yes, the Von Erichs, okay? The Von Erichs who AEW signed Kevin in July before he was just doing one-off appearances, and he hasn't appeared one time in AEW since they signed him in July. Just the stupidity of the AEW wastefulness of money, and they keep signing more and more people. Nobody's over. Ice is more over at AEW shows than any of the damn wrestlers. I love One Man Gang and Akeem. You know what I just watched on WWE's Vault? Here's what I did watch today, guys. The Mega Powers Explode match on the Vault channel. Akeem and Big Boss Man with Slick against Macho Man and Hogan. That was the angle that made me a wrestling fan. And they just put that angle on the Vault channel, and wrestling was just so much better then. I'm going to try my own event again this year. It's going to be done in association with some other companies. And it's going to be more my style of wrestling. There isn't going to be any political crap. There's not going to be any 15-minute boring promos. It's gonna be more the style that I like, using the top talent I can get my hands on. And I'm going to be back in the ring for it as well. As well as guys like the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith Jr. is going to be there. What a guy that they should have in AEW, because he's a real wrestler and an actual tough guy. Gunther versus Ric Flair. I mean, Ric Flair's retirements, I do think he basically would wrestle again if the price is right. But the offer, whatever offer he had that made him want to tease coming back to the ring a few weeks ago, wasn't enough to make him actually want to get back in the ring. But apparently he still gets a good amount from these autograph sessions he does. Can Brian Knobbs store his belongings in the empty seats at AEW? You see, you are a smart guy. He went to an Ivy League school. Brian Knobbs should listen to Brian. And Chris there watches 80s wrestling too. I mean, that's the best I can say. Other than highlights here and there, I'd rather just watch old 80s wrestling stuff that I may have missed when I was a kid or didn't appreciate it as much when I was young. So I wish everyone a good afternoon. I'm going off to the gym. And who didn't love, not only was Jive Soul Bro a good theme song, but so was If You Ever Take a Trip Down to Cobb County, Georgia. But the difference was, in those days, they didn't stop the show if the fans were singing along to the song like they do now, which I heard Lance Storm complain about on Raw, where there was only 3 matches on a 2-hour Raw on Monday. The wrestlers come out and, oh, the fans are singing my song. Let's delay the match and encourage the fans, because, you know, people watch on TV because they want to hear the fans sing the songs, which I don't even like the theme musics of today. So call me whatever you want. But I prefer the less choreographed, less predetermined wrestling of the 80s and